Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. Today's live stream is going to be a very interesting one. So, I really hope everyone here had a wonderful weekend. I hope you're all well rested, and I hope you're ready for a brand new week in crypto. So, let's make a portfolio. Let's get us to $100K in our portfolio. And I like making live streams like this because portfolio management is very subjective depending on your situation and depending on the amount of capital you have. It also depends on your risk tolerance. So there's a lot of factors to, put into consideration, and I'm going to cover many of that in today's live stream. So this is the structure we are going to be following today. We are going to get us to $100,000 portfolio, and we're going to look at the nature of crypto. We're going to look at how I would spend $1,000 to get to that 100K, how I would spend $10,000 to get to 100K, and how I would spend $50,000 to get to a 100K portfolio. And then we're also going to look at the $1 million plan, because for so many people out there in the crypto space, 100K is not enough. We just want that seven-figure number in our portfolio. We want $1 million in our portfolio. So if you stick around to the end, I'm going to discuss, what I'm planning to do forward in order to make $1 million. And then I'm going to address your comments as usual. First come, first serve. So if you want me to address your comment, depending on when I'm done, get your comments out there early. Turn on the notification for next time. And then let's get started. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There are so many people out there that I'm trying to help. There are so many people that I'm trying to teach about cryptocurrencies, and this space is far, far more than just what many people think that they're just meme coins or scams or pumps and dumps. So if you want to help somebody that you care about that wants to get into crypto and grow in the crypto space, let them know about SSM Crypto. Let them like, let them share, and let them subscribe. So let's get started. Today's live stream is going to be very serious. It's going to be very important because the first aspect is one of the most important part, and that's understanding the nature of crypto. Now, like every other good thing in life, you need time to get good at it. Yeah, nobody is born just good at something or perfect at something. You need time. You need to keep practicing. You need to keep growing in a particular skill, in a particular field. And that's the same thing with cryptocurrencies. Many people in the crypto space that you see today, they didn't just make it in crypto. They spent years grinding, they spent years researching, and they spent years, learning about it. Now there are ways you can accelerate this process. You can buy books, you can learn technical analysis, you can learn sentiment analysis, you can even join patrons and things like that. But these things take time, and with time you get better at it. There are some people, oh, they've mastered looking for a good project, they've mastered spotting red flags, but they don't know how to take profit yet. So they miss out on making gains in the bull run, and they have to wait for another bull run. But the next bull run, they are more experienced than they were before. So the point of me adding this section of understanding the nature of crypto is you have to adjust your time frame. It's not going to be a get rich quick scheme, right? You can't just expect to invest $1,000 or $10,000 and you just get 100K. Some people would argue that, oh, what about Pepe? What about some meme coins? Millionaires were minted overnight. And I can say the same thing with gambling in a casino. There are people that buy tickets in a casino and they just become millionaires overnight. If you want to make realistic gains in crypto, it's very possible. It gives you easier returns on investment than traditional banking. It's very possible to make 100K. It's easy to make. It's actually really easy to make 100K. You just need to adjust that time frame. You need to understand that this is not a get rich quick scheme, and that you get better at it with time. And the most important message in my live stream today, if you don't take any other thing in my live stream today, please take this one thing. Be sure not to make sure that your portfolio is your entire life's worth. If we're talking about making 100K from $1,000 portfolio, please, I'm begging you, if $1,000 is all you have, if $10,000 is all you have, if $50,000 is all you have, don't do crypto. Please do something else. Find other sources of income, because crypto is very volatile. I will not tell you that there is no risk in this space. Okay, there are risks. I've lost money in crypto, I've made money in crypto, I've had a lot of experience, and that's the nature of crypto. I've grown in it, and I'm letting people understand how they can navigate the crypto space more safely. And I will not recommend you to put all of your life savings into crypto and decide to wait for it. Why? Because you are going to end up being emotional about it. If the only way you can feed yourself is from what's in your portfolio, you're going to get emotional if the coin dips by 5%, even 2%, you're going to get emotional about it. You're going to sell at a loss, and you're going to FOMO into different projects, and you're going to end up getting wrecked. And that's what causes people to say, oh, crypto is a scam, and that they hate this space. So if you don't have any other source of income, please, I advise you, make sure you have multiple sources of income outside crypto. That way, you can invest and you can pay close attention to your investment in terms of research. You're not going to be too emotional about it, and that's how your portfolio can grow. Because if you have just $10,000 and you don't have any other money, you're hopping from projects to projects, and it goes up a bit, you sell it off, you buy another project, you're eventually going to slip off. You're going to make a mistake and you're going to lose everything. So I really don't want that to happen. If you're going to be in the crypto space, be smart about it. Okay, make sure you have multiple sources of income. If you don't have much, make sure you can try to learn a skill, grow yourself, read a book, learn something, coding, freelancing, and so on. And then keep mining fiat. That's what I like to say. You keep mining fiat, and then you can decide to invest in different crypto projects. So now that we have that out of the way, now that we understand the nature of crypto, now that we understand it's not a get rich quick scheme, and that it takes time and you get better at it. Now that we understand that we have multiple sources of income and that we can then put it and diversify into different projects, let's look at how I would invest $1,000, $10,000, and $50,000 to make 100K. And the first thing when setting up your portfolio is to make sure you follow these steps. You have to have the right projects in a portfolio. It doesn't matter, how much you are investing. If you have the wrong projects, you can't make 100K. So the first thing is spotting trends early. You look at the project idea, project justification, the team's track record, tokenomics, and marketing. So spotting trends early is extremely important in the crypto space, especially when you're dealing with a low portfolio, especially when you're dealing with low cap gems, because those are the ones that tend to go parabolic. I've made several videos and several live streams about how to spot trends early, and one of the easiest and perhaps the most important way of spotting trends early in crypto is to check the social engagement. Use Twitter. Have a dedicated account for Twitter. I have an account for crypto, just crypto. I have an account for anime, arts, and stuff like that. So you can use social engagement to understand, oh, these are the things that everyone is talking about. These are the things that are going to get hyped up. You can check Google Trends. You can check different analysis, sentiment analysis on the market to understand what projects are going to be taking advantage. Take, for example, now the Apple Metaverse announcement. You can argue now that a lot of projects that are within the metaverse niche, especially those ones that have an app on the iOS store, will do very well once Apple announcement kicks off, because that's metaverse hype is going to get a lot of people thinking, oh, what projects or what apps can we use to enjoy this VR, augmented reality, virtual reality that Apple is launching very soon. And then you start to see people looking for crypto alternatives because it's on the blockchain, it's decentralized, secured, and all of that. So spotting trends early is a big deal in crypto. It's the best way you make a lot of gains, because by the time you have a 10x, when somebody is looking for a 2x, you are getting 20x by then. So a very big difference. And the next part about it is the project idea. And that's project idea or the justification, they are more or less the same. You look at whether or not that project has a good idea in that, oh, it actually makes sense for this project to be on the blockchain. The project shouldn't just say, oh, we're on the blockchain. I'm not going to invest in a project just because it's on the blockchain. I'm going to invest in a project because its justification of the on the blockchain, its reason for existing on the blockchain far outweighs what we have in the Web2 space. I'm going to look at projects that oh, this project actually makes sense because it aids adoption, it helps onboard people from Web 2 to Web 3. I'm going to look at projects that make things easier, makes things decentralized, that breaks down borders and stuff like that. So the project justification is also very important. And one of the most important parts of setting up your portfolio is the team track record. Now, there are many projects that rebrand. There are many projects that like to chase hype. That's a big red flag that many people don't know about. And that's why it's important to look at the roadmap. Look at the roadmap, how realistic it is, and how the team is working towards the roadmap. Crypto is extremely fast, is extremely volatile. If a team cannot follow its roadmap, that's a very big red flag. So look at teams that accomplish what's on their roadmap because they are not going to abandon it. If a team is abandoning changing narratives all the time, it means they are not really paying attention. They're just looking for quick cash grabs. So avoid projects that always rebrand. Look for teams that are dedicated. It's one of the reasons why I'm super bullish on Energy Web Token. They don't look at what any other project is doing in the market. They're just focusing on their energy narrative in the energy niche, because once that becomes a thing, especially on the blockchain, there will be the best projects for that. So pay attention to teams that have an excellent track record and they're just following what they aim to do. The tokenomics are extremely important, and the marketing is super duper really important, because if a project is great and nobody talks about it, nobody hears about it, that project is just going to die there. So now, these are the criterias that I use, to set up to pick a project, whether it's going to be, whether I'm early on a trend, whether it has a good idea and a good justification on the blockchain, whether the team is good, whether the tokenomics is good, and whether or not they have a good marketing. And now we're going to move on to the next aspect of my 1K portfolio. How would I spend $1,000? Now, calm down. I'm still going to share the projects, examples of projects I will buy, but portfolios are very, very interesting things. And, depending, like I said, is extremely subjective, depending on your risk tolerance. Some people don't like to take too much risk. If they invest $1,000 and it goes down by 100, they're leaving the project. So you have to understand that I'm trying to make it in a way that would benefits as much people as possible, but this is my approach to it. If I were to invest $1,000 in crypto projects, I would have 5 to 8 projects, because I want to diversify, but I don't want to over diversify, and they will be limited mainly to micro caps and low cap gems. Now, there's going to be a 50-50 rule. Even the best projects have some risk to them, but for $1,000 portfolio, $500 in it would be for degen plays, very high risk, and that's what the 50 in red is. 50% would be very high risk, and 50% is going to be relatively safe. That's my strategy for employing, that I will employ in making $1,000 portfolio, because this very high risk plays, there's a possibility it can go to zero, and there's a possibility that it can go absolutely parabolic. And that's why in the beginning of this live stream, I emphasize the importance of having sources of income outside crypto, because when I say 50-50, the first 50 I'm willing to lose it all, is going to be a high risk play, and the other 50 is relatively safe compared to the degen play. And so I have 5 to 8 micro caps, low caps. I'm not investing in high caps. I'm not investing in mid caps when I have $1,000 portfolio. And then I'm going to have a 50-50 play, 50% high risk degen plays, then 50% solid fundamentals, good projects that can go really far. And one of the most important parts when dealing with $1,000 portfolio is how you handle the gains. Because believe you me, it's very easy for a project in microcap category to make a 10x and then go lower than your initial. So, how do you handle that kind of situation? How do you handle, making gains, taking profits, and then not losing out? Well, I will say this. If I want to make $1,000 become $100,000, I'm not waiting for the old $1,000 to become 100,000. Part of my bag will be for the 100x, but I will take profits on the way up. So Make sure you have a moon bag. In summary, have a moon bag, but that moon bag should never be 100% of your portfolio. Perhaps maybe 50% of your portfolio can be the moon bag. Once the project does a 3 5x, you can decide, oh, I'm taking out $1,000. The remaining 9,000 or the remaining 7,000 can be a moon bag. You can decide to take even $5,000 and leave the remaining 5,000 to be a moon bag. But the best strategy to employ once your $1,000 portfolio begins to go up is to have a moon bag, but never let 100% of your $1,000 portfolio be your entire 100x moon bag. Always take profits on the way up. That's extremely important. And the reason why this is important is it gives you the opportunity to re-strategize and have a 10K portfolio, because you will see now that my 10K portfolio, the strategy for my 10K portfolio is going to be vastly different from my strategy for $1,000 portfolio. So if you're going on your way up and you manage to get 10K out of it and you leave the moon bag, that's good. Never sell 100% of it. Trust me, you wouldn't like to see your projects keep blasting off while not having anything in it. But have an amount that you can reinvest, re-strategize, and buy some new fresh projects. Sorry about that. So, and what are examples? So what projects will I buy for my 1,000K, for my $1,000 portfolio? Now I'm going to give you examples of degen play. I'm going to give you a high risk play. I'm going to give you examples of low risk play, and that's going just look at, for example, Altura, Broccoli, XP Network. Now, I'm not going to give you, the 5 to 8 gems I'm buying. That's just for my patrons. For my patrons, I'm going to share exclusively to them what projects I will buy and how much I will put in them. But for this live stream, it's going to be a general structure and a good idea of how you can invest in it. Take, for example, Altura, Broccoli Network, XP Network. You can you can look at it that way, that these are great projects. They are all great, but I'll argue that Broccoli has a little bit of higher risk compared to Altura and Expo Network, because those ones I just see them doing very well, especially for low caps. So you can take this structure and strategize on your own. What are the projects that you believe you are willing, that if you invest in it today, it can go to zero? Think about those kind of projects and don't make it more than 50% of your $1,000 portfolio. You can decide to change the numbers how you like. This is just my strategy that I think works well and that I'm sharing with you. And then you now decide, oh, this is a low cap that I'm super bullish on. I think this low cap is going to do very well, especially in the long term. It has much less risk than DGen plays, and you decide to invest in that. So Altura, Blockchain Network, and XP Network, I've color coded it for you so that you can understand it, and so that we can quickly move on to the next part. So, like I said, if you have $1,000 portfolio, very important aspect is knowing how to take gains, because it gives you the opportunity to re-strategize. Now, take for example, your $1,000 is now worth $10,000. You have your moon bag, but you have taken out $10,000. Why not re-strategize and then make a 10K portfolio for on your way up to $100,000? So if I'm going to invest in 10,000, if I'm going to invest $10,000 into different crypto projects, this is the strategy I'm going to take. $10,000 will be invested in low to high cap gems. Is going to be just good all round. I'm not really going to take any You're not going to take any degen play. You're not going to take any crazy amount of risk, because you're dealing with much more capital and putting, substantial amount in crazy degen plays. Yeah, that's an amount of risk that I'm not willing to take. So if at all you insist on that, I would advise you don't put more than 20% of your portfolio into high risk, crazy degen plays, 50% in relatively safe, and 30% in the boring ones that can grow steady, most probably the high caps. Now, just for fun, red, yellow, green is the flag of my country. And yeah, examples of those kind of projects that I'll share with you in today's live stream are LCX, DESO, and injective protocol. Now, injective protocol, I'm super bullish on it because it's within a narrative that I think will do well. Interoperability plus blockchain tools. LCX, I see is going far. I think it's undervalued and it has good justification, especially when it comes to fraud and regulatory compliance. That's why I see the importance of decentralized social media. So these are different thought processes that you can have. And the color coding is to help you to understand the amount of risk tolerance. So having 9 to 12, you are investing 10K. Now, this is higher than $1,000 portfolio. But if you are going to invest $10,000 in crypto, you best be ready to invest your time as well. You can't just buy a project willy-nilly. You must be willing to pay attention, have an Excel sheet, look at your entry prices, set up some stop losses, and then move forward accordingly as the portfolio grows. So this is very important. You have to pay attention to the fact that you have a higher number of crypto projects to manage. You have a larger variety of crypto projects, higher risk, lower risk, and relatively safe projects. And then you can decide to re-strategize. Take, for example, the nature of high risk crypto is that's 20%. Once it does a 3x or a 4x, it can quickly become 40% of your entire portfolio or 30%. So that's the point that you would understand. If you're smart enough, you would understand, oh, now that my 20% high risk play has become 40% of my portfolio, I need to take some profits and reinvest it into the 30% safe and boring aspects. That's just being smart about it, because you're putting your profits into on something else, an investment will that can give you more money. So, like I said before, the amounts and the specifics, I'm going to share that with my patron. There's a lot I'm planning on the Patreon, trading challenges, more details, portfolio management and stuff like that. It's going to be an exciting month, really. But this is just still a very good example for you guys on the live stream. And that's how I would handle a 10K portfolio. So perhaps the most difficult part, surprisingly, is the 50K portfolio, because you just be wondering, oh, isn't that just a 2x? Well, I wouldn't be throwing $50,000 into any random meme coin or any random low cap. I'm going to be investing $50,000 into projects that I'm practically sure that they can't fail. And that's the point of 100 green, 100% green. When if you have a 50,000, sorry, if you have a $50,000 portfolio. Now, the amount of projects to manage here shouldn't be too much, because we're trying to play it safe here. We're dealing with a lot of money. A 2x can be very hard in crypto, but it's still easy, because it just takes more time, but you just need to be patient. And that's another point. That's another reason why I kept saying you don't need to have all of your investments into crypto. It's good to be able to pay attention to other things outside crypto. So 100% is going to be in relatively safe and boring coins. I'm talking about projects like Polygon Matic and Quant and so on. So this is a category that I think is easy, but you need to be super patient. And then you have to invest in it without relying so much on the money in it, because you look at it as a bank or a 1 year plan and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be something that I think is going to be beneficial to a lot of people, understanding the nature of crypto and understanding that these portfolios can vary drastically based on how much you are investing in it. So let me share with you an image. Now, this is an image I made when I was still getting started with crypto, and it absolutely blew my mind. I will be the first to admit that it's not realistic, but bear with me. Pay attention to this image. If you have $1,000 and you get a 2x 10 times, you would have $1 million. And that's that stuff blew my mind, and it's what made me super interested in crypto. One of the things that made me interested in crypto, because I was swing trading like crazy, and I managed that time. I managed to turn like $100 to close to $7,000 then. And I was like, wow, this crypto thing is easy, until I started, making some mistakes and losing some money. But it's still gets you thinking, like, how should I do this? And that's the point of today's live stream. There are different ways you can manage your portfolio. You're not going to be putting It's easy to put $1,000 in high risk play, but it's much more hard to put a $30,000 in that same high risk play. It's not smart. That's extremely dumb. You re-strategize as you are growing. So I made this image thing, and I'm sharing it with you guys. Like, it's easy if you think about it. $1,000 to 2,000, then 4,000. You can think about it in other aspects. Maybe if you have a very large portfolio, you are looking for 10%. 10%. Oh, my $50,000 will turn to $100,000. I've made $50,000 in profits. So there are different ways, there are different strategies to adopt, depending on your risk tolerance, depending on your initial investment, depending on how long you are willing to wait, which I always advise that you should have a longer time mindset. And so that brings me to a conclusion for my today's live stream. I really hope you guys have found this beneficial. I've talked about how I'll handle $1,000. I've talked about how I'll handle $10,000, and I've also talked about how I would handle $50,000. The I've also shared some projects with you, specifics, how much I will invest in them. I'm saving that for the patrons. So if you don't want to miss on that, if you want one-on-one conversations, if you want me to help guide you on how you can invest and move in crypto space, consider checking that out. Links in the description. And that's the $1,000,000 plan. It looks really weird, but once we get to 100K, once we get to this point, we're going to look at how we can start targeting $1,000,000, because that's everybody's dream in the crypto space. And yeah, I'm going to start addressing some comments now. I really hope you guys have found some value in the live stream so far. Amadou Kefadin, thanks so much for joining me. Rusmita, hello. Jobin, it's good to see you here. Oh, okay. No, no worries. Michael and Crypto Stuff. Guys, check out Crypto Stuff channel. He also makes a lot of good video. Great guy, very responsive in the comments. Consider subscribing to his channel as well. He's a great guy. So yeah, Michael, it's good to have you here. I want to quickly answer the first question, and that's from Rusmita. He was asking about what narratives I'm going to be bullish on. I can't find the question. Okay, gaming or AI? What narratives do I think will do very well, especially return on investment in the next 6 months? Okay, so first thing I'm going to tell you is, anybody that tells you this is how it's going to play out in the next 2 months, or this is how much you're going to be making, run away from that person. Nobody We don't have crystal balls, okay? But we do get I do like to gauge sentiments, and how the market is based on past cycles and stuff like that. So when it comes to trend, it's difficult to predict, because people get bored easily. People move on to other ideas easily. Just out of the blue, metaverse project started pumping out of nowhere just because of Apple's events. So when it comes to gaming or AI, I think gaming is evergreen in crypto. You can't go wrong with gaming. AI, I'm bullish on AI personally, but that's me. I can't say for the rest of the crypto space. But I can say for the rest of the crypto space, gaming will always be a thing. So the safer bets will be gaming. The more lucrative bets would be AI, because there aren't too many AI projects. There are very few good ones out there. So um make your decision based on that strategy. I think gaming is evergreen. I think there are great gaming projects. They are fun. The nature of crypto is to be online regularly. Why not make money while you're online and gaming? So I think gaming will keep doing well. It's evergreen. AI is very niched, especially with crypto. It's still new, so it might do well. It might have its spot in crypto, it might not have its spot. Personally, I believe it has a place in crypto, because I believe in the tech and I believe in its long term potential. So, AI, you can invest in both. it just depends on your, like I said in the beginning of this video, the nature of crypto. It depends on your risk tolerance. If you are going to be more risky, then find good AI projects that would go very far. I can argue Singularity Net. I mean, Singularity Net was way low. It was about $250 million, and I was saying, oh, Singularity Net is at a still right now, but people got bored about it. People don't really want to talk, invest into AI anymore. But if you understand what they are doing, if you understand the tech behind it, you would be able to have that foresight and understand, okay, this is something that will do well in the space based on being on the blockchain, good justification, decentralized, secure. AI data, especially with what we have in the world today, is so biased, is so racist, especially towards white people, is so unfair. So it doesn't make sense for corporations to be feeding it the data that they like. It's always better for that algorithm to be trained based on true, tried, and tested data. So I think AI being on the blockchain is very justified, and I think it's go far because of that. So yeah, that's what I would say regarding that. Gaming and metaverse will do. Yeah, I'm super bullish on gaming and metaverse. I know that has a space, place in crypto. The projects I'm bullish on, let me just share some extra bonus when it comes to gaming and metaverse. Now, the projects I'm bullish on when it comes to gaming and metaverse, I've already even mentioned one of them, like Altura. Another one that I've covered is hustle projects. Now, the reason why the reason why these projects pumping made me so happy is because I kept saying it over and over again in all of my live streams. It was much lower than this. I kept saying it. I said the reason why hustle will pump is because even though there are several music platforms, Hustle has this added benefit of being a metaverse project. And that was the unique selling point. I literally called it. I said this project will pump because it has the integration of the metaverse. You can, attend concerts, go to different events, gaming on the platform, interact with other avatars, interact with your favorite artist avatar. That makes it more than just a music platform. So I put it as a high risk, high reward crypto project because it's within an entertainment sphere. You don't know when musicians will start talking about a project and saying, oh, you can find me on the hustle platform. And you just see the project starts to go parabolic based on that. So it was sitting at the market cap of about 200 about $250,000, and I was talking about it, and it went on to do close to a 3x. So those are the kind of thought processes I like to share in my live streams, in my videos, and I like to share them as quickly as possible with my patrons because I like to give them as much values. Guys, there's a lot we talk about in the Patreon. Take for example, we have conversations about LRC20, BRC20, why Bitcoin is pumping, what we believe would do well in the next few months. We've got TA analysts like Adam in our VIP tiers as well. So he shares his insight as well. If you don't want to miss any of that, it's more than just buy and sell alerts, an intellectually stimulating environment. Consider joining that once again. So apart from Hustle, another project that I'm bullish on, that I've talked about, that I made a video on recently, is gamers. Now, this is very unique. I'm investing in this project because I think the idea can take it very far. Is as this combination of gaming and decentralized social media, as well as an NFT platform that is interoperable, an NFT marketplace that is interoperable. So the market cap is low right now because many people are anticipating and waiting for the project to launch. As an investor, you like to get in early on a project before everybody starts jumping into it, and that's why I said in this in the beginning, in this slide here, no, sorry, this slide here, it's important to spot trends early. It's important to get in early on this thing before everybody starts jumping onto the trade. So yeah, gamers, Hustle, Altura, there's Meta Hero, there's Over the Reality. All of these metaverse projects, I think they will do well. If you can wait one short moment, there's an image I would like to share with you. Hold on a bit. Now, I'm going to give credits to S Ready for this image. S Ready is one of my top tier patrons, very intelligent person, and I always love getting his insights on our group. So these are the kind of this is the nature of our patron. So I think the Apple events, the Apple announcements will take a lot of projects far. It will take a lot of projects forward, especially because the metaverse is still relatively new technology, right? There's not so many gaming and metaverse projects out there, especially on the blockchain. So Apple announcing a VR and AR headset, there are going to be people rushing over to try out some apps and pay attention to projects that have applications on the iOS. Render token, I love that one. It's more than just a metaverse project. It takes good advantage of metaverse as well as many other narrative. It's a blockchain too. It's why I'm bullish on blockchain too. Axie Infinity, ApeCoin. I would even argue ApeCoin. We have Stepping GPT, virtual over the reality. Um, what's this? Victoria VR. Never heard of that. Pay attention to the ones that have this Apple logo next to them. I think those ones have tendency to do very well. Render is the one I'm most bullish on when it comes to the metaverse hype because even if the metaverse doesn't kick off, it's going to be a very useful token for decentralized media, for gaming, and many other aspects. Strong justification for the blockchain. Very strong, solid, long term hold. The RNDR token. So yeah, that's regarding that comment. Thank you so much for your comments, Michael. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Next comment. Nice to have you here. Oi, hermano. Gracias. How are you, Jose? From Texas, right? Hope you are doing well. I'm happy to see you. Crypto Caleb, I'm happy to have you here. And I think that's all. There's not much. What? Wait first. Is SSM mute? Ah, okay. I was scared. I thought I was muted for a moment. Yeah, I'm bullish on Render. 1,000x play, bro. Render is $1 billion in market cap. You're talking about a trillion. But it's definitely a project that I can have in my 10K portfolio or my 50K portfolio. So yeah, LFG, I'm bullish on it. Super bullish on that project as well. I've not looked into Victoria VR, but I will look into it as well. Okay, I think I'll stop there today. I don't want to deviate too far from the title of today's live stream. As usual, thank you guys so much for joining me. I look forward to a wonderful week to all of with all of you. Planning lots of interesting things for the month of June. Be sure to watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I am Across the Spider-Verse, and I hope to see you next time. Stay safe and take care.